Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title, this is gonna be like a life update, but not really. We're gonna be talking about college and I'm gonna be doing my makeup. I don't know if I have someplace I need to be. Reason why I say I don't know is because I'm like awaiting a phone call to see if I have someplace to be. So, but I'm gonna do my makeup just in case. And you know, it's always fun to do my makeup and you know, I can look good for my boyfriend or whatever. So anyways, I wanted to talk about college and higher education period. So what I'm really discussing is like college and after college. So graduate school, law school, medical school, what other schools are there? Pharmacy school, dental school? Do dentists go to different schools or do dentists just go to medical school? Whatever, all those schools, nursing school, all the different schools that you go to either before you go to college or after you go to college, or not before you go to college, but like nursing school. A lot of nurses go to school. A lot of nurses get their nursing degree in just their college years, because like at my school, there's a nursing school and you could get a nursing degree. So yes, you're in nursing school, but you're also in like undergrad at the same exact time. So like, yeah. Anyways, that is so irrelevant. Kind of relevant, but irrelevant. I wanted to talk about how higher education is a scam. Like, we are taught in these United States of America that if you are underprivileged and you didn't come from much, if you just work hard and if you just try your best, you can be successful. If you put in the grades and you make the grades to get into a certain school, you can be successful. You can be whatever you want to be. And on paper, that sounds so cute. That sounds so cute. But I'm not even talking about the fact that people who have money already get access to things that get them into these schools. Let's say that a child who comes from an underprivileged family, by the grace of God and by their own intelligence, they are able to make the grades to get into a good school. No one talks about what happens after a child gets accepted into an amazing school. No one talks about how the kid who had to take care of his family, work 2 jobs, and go to school, who gets into Harvard, no one talks about how he's gonna pay Harvard's $50,000 tuition. No one talks about that. No one talks about how he's gonna pay his room and board. No one talks about how he's gonna eat when he's there. No one talks about how he's gonna pay for his books. No one talks about the fact that just getting into college is not the hard part. People don't even understand that, I feel like. That's not the hard part. Getting into whatever institution is not the hard part. Because as far as you are concerned, just getting into the institution is rather easy because you have full control. You have full control over whether or not you make the grade. So if you apply yourself in theory, if you apply yourself, you can make the grades, you can go to a good school. But no one talks about what happens after you get into that good school. And what made me think about that is, if you've seen in my other video, I got accepted into law school. And it feels like every single week since my senior year of college has began, I've been texting my mom and dad and asking them for money. $200 here, $200 there, $300 here, $300 there. Like, I feel like I'm constantly asking them for money just to go to law school. And this was before I was even accepted. I just had to go ask my parents the other day for $500 to put down a seat deposit for law school. So before I was even accepted into law school, I had already paid $1,000 just for the consideration, just for my name to be in the hat. I had already paid $1,000. There are people who are smarter than me who don't have parents who have money to spend like that. What happens to them? What happens to the people who don't have the money to spend to get their child into law school? Like, what do you do? What do you do when you're not poor enough to where you can get all your stuff waived? If that even works. Sometimes you are poor enough to where you should get your stuff waived, but they still won't do it because on paper, you're not struggling. So what happens when you fall in that quarter? You're not dirt poor, but you're also not middle class and up, so your parents don't have access to money to get you into school. What happens when you're just poor? When you're just not really poor, you're just poor. What do you do? What do you do when your mom has 3 other kids who aren't in college that she's taking care of and she has to put food on the table for, and you come to her and you ask her, can she give you $200 for you to take your LSAT? On average, most people take their LSAT 2 times. They say 2.5. So that means that most people are either taking it 2 or 3 times. 2 or 3, some people take it 4, shit. I took the LSAT twice. And you wanna know why I didn't take the LSAT a 3rd time? Number 1, I didn't think I was gonna get a higher score than I got the 2nd time. That's a personal issue. And number 3, it's pressure. Like, when you have already asked your parent, I remember the first time I took the LSAT, I didn't get the grade that I wanted to get on the LSAT. So I had already asked my parents for the $200 it takes to take the LSAT. So I'm like, now I have to come to them. You guys, I was going to send off my first LSAT score that I got to my law school because I was afraid to ask my parents for more money. They would have given it to me, but it's just pressure. You don't want to feel like you're putting your parents in a tough situation. Like, they gave me money before. They give me money to go to school now. They pay my tuition, and that, like, I just don't want to constantly feel like I'm burdening them with all types of things. So I felt that. I'm like, I should have just got the correct score the first time, and I wouldn't have to do this. But no, I went back to them, and they gave me the money, of course, to take it again, and I did significantly better. Like, my score shot up almost 10 points the 2nd time I took it, and I have an excellent score. My score is well beyond the score of the national average. Like, I did extremely well on my 2nd LSAT, but me having such a big increase made me want to take the LSAT again. I wanted to take it again to see if I could get an even better score, but I was just like, no, I can't rationalize spending $600 to $800 on a test. I can't rationalize spending $800 on a test. I couldn't do it. I'm like, I refuse to play this game that society wants me to play. Like, and I just feel it made me. And then, so back to what I was saying. So then, after I've already given them $600, then I didn't take the last LSAT that I wanted to take, and that was fine. My score was fine. I wasn't losing any sleep over it. This doesn't take into account, what if you want to pay for test prep? There are all types of test prep for things like the MCAT and the LSAT, and I forgot what the nursing school one was called. And there are so many test preps that cost money. What if you don't have money for those test preps? So this idea that you just need to work hard is so flawed. And the issue is so many people feel like so many people have this notion that it's correct. So many people look at young people and think they're lazy and think they just don't work hard for why they are not in positions that they are in. And I'm like, are you so disconnected from reality that you don't understand the obstacles and hurdles in front of young people, especially poor young people, not even poor. We're living in an age where middle class doesn't even allow you to pay for certain things. So you don't even realize the obstacles put in place for disenfranchised, poor, middle class, minorities. All these people, they can't get into things that they want to go to. They could do, like, it just baffles me and it makes me sad, because you can do everything to put yourself in positions to be great. But if your family doesn't have a spare $2,000, and for some, I'm just talking about law school. Think about like medical school. I know it's even more. If your family doesn't have some spare change to get you into these institutions, you don't get there. There are plenty of people who deserve to be lawyers and who deserve to be doctors and pharmacists and dentists and nurses. All these respectable careers. There's so many people who deserve to be in these careers, but they don't get the opportunity because the system is so rigged. The system is so rigged. Like, and what made me really like feel it was, okay, so I got accepted into my law school last Tuesday. Last Tuesday, I got the congratulations, you've been accepted into law school. Mind you, I believe that was on like March 28th, the back end of March. In the letter, they were like, oh, so yeah, you need to put down a seat deposit by the 15th of April. And like, it stressed me out because once again, I did not want to have to go to my parents and ask them for $500 to put down a seat deposit for me to go to school. I'm like, I don't want to ask them for the seat deposit. So I was hoping that I could pay the seat deposit for myself. But how the hell, y'all, I don't even work, you guys. How the hell am I gonna come up with $500 on my own for a seat deposit? It's not about having $500. It's about having a spare $500 that I can spend on a seat deposit in 15 days. That's what it's about. It's not asking your parents to just have $200. It's asking your parents to have a spare $200 that they weren't even considering putting towards your education. They already have money allocated to certain things. Like they have to feed your other siblings. They have to put gas in the car so they can go to work and make a living to pay for you to go to school or whatever. They have to put money towards bills so the lights stay on, so you have clothes, your siblings have clothes. Like, your parents, for them to live. Let's not act like parents are just passive bystanders in life. They have things they want to do. Like, our parents, when you get into the ages of going to college, our parents are getting old. Like, they don't want to constantly have to work. They want to go on nice vacations. They want to do nice things. So it's just like, you expect people who aren't rich. I am not rich. I don't come from a rich family. Do I come from a well-off family? Yes, but I don't come from a rich family. So I was thinking to myself, anyone who comes from a family, first of all, think about the people who don't have two parents in their life. There are many people who don't have two parents in their life for any reason. Death, they walked out, anything. There could be maybe you just don't have a good relationship with them. There are many reasons why people don't come from, who don't have relationships with two parents. Two parents who can actively pay for their education. And then let's not take into account the people who are on fixed income, whether it be disability, welfare, unemployment. So these are all the sectors of things. So many people fall into this category. And it bothers me that people act like those people are anomalies. The people who collect the welfare are one in a few. Or the people whose parents collect disability. Every now and then you might have someone's parents who collect disability. Or every now and then you might have someone whose parents got laid off. This is common. It is common. And that's what bothers me. That's what the pull yourself by your bootstrap narrative, that's what bothers me. Because a lot of people don't even have boots. A lot of people don't have a bootstrap to pull. So when you come to me and you make a mockery of me and say certain people, poor people, homeless people, people who don't partake in higher education are lazy, or they just need to figure it out, or they just are making bad decisions, I feel slighted. I feel offended. I feel really offended because I am aware of the condition the world is in. And I find it hard to believe that most people who go to a state college I would say at least 50% would not be able to come up with $500 in less than 15 days. So, and it hurts because yes, I know I'm going to be able to do it. My parents want me to go to law school. They do anything to get me to law school. So I'm going to be able to come up with the $500, but there are so many people who are working their way through college, whose parents aren't giving them a dime, not because they don't want to give them a dime, because they don't have a dime to give. There are so many people who are taking out so many loans to go to college, and then they're hit in the face telling them they have 15 days to come up with $500. You can't get, unless you go to a little quick loan place where the interest rate is up the ass, where are you going to get $500 from? Take on some extra shifts and then your grades fall behind. So if I go pick up some extra shifts at work and my grades fall behind, what is it worth then? The whole point of me working the extra shifts is to get into a school. So if my grades fall behind, why am I even, why that doesn't make any sense. I'm working backwards. I'm working backwards. So it's just like, it's not fair. I guess the point of me making this video is to say academia and education is for the privileged. We in America, I can't speak for other places, but we in America hide behind this mask that education and prosperity, you can gain prosperity through education. It's a whole nother video where I talk about the job market and how going to college and getting a degree doesn't mean shit unless you go get more education, like go to law school, go to med school, go to nursing school, go to pharmacy school. We can talk about how you literally, graduate school, you have to go do all other shit for your degree actually to be worth a damn. But let's say you do get a job. You know how hard it is to get through college? College is not easy. If it was just about getting the grades, making the transfers, and that's it, you wouldn't get complaints. But anyone who has been to college, anyone who's in college can tell you college is so much more than that. College is hard because you get to this phase where I don't really want to ask my parents for money, mostly because they have their own expenses. Of course, if your parents got it like that, and that's what I'm trying to say, everyone isn't living with this struggle. And I guess that's the next part of this already too long video. Everyone isn't living this struggle. This struggle is only happening to disenfranchised people, poor people, minorities, immigrants, it's only happening to these types of people. And poor people is there's poor white people, there's poor black people, there's poor Asians, so this is not a race issue. It's an everyone issue. There's a thin line between you being middle class and you collecting welfare. There's such a thin line. It is your parents talking out of line to their supervisor and getting fired. That's the line. It is your parents having to take you to a doctor's appointment and your mom can't go to work and she gets fired, and now you're collecting welfare. You're collecting unemployment. See, it's such a thin line. So you can't sit here and say you want people to be educated when every time you get close to the finish line, it gets moved. It gets moved. It gets moved. The finish line keeps getting moved. It keeps getting moved. So I can't fault someone who gives up, who says, I don't want to play in this ridiculous game anymore. I don't want to play it anymore. I don't want to play the game anymore. Because that's what it is. That's what it is. It is a game. It is a who can get the most resources. Why? And this is no offense to my law school, because I'm 100% sure. And if you want to take anything from this video, take that. Please talk to people. If you find yourself struggling to come up with finances to pay for school, please talk to someone in your school. Hopefully there will be a nice lady who works in the financial aid office, the admissions office or something, who will help you out, who will extend your deadline. I have seen that happen many of times, and I want to just give props to the people who are in the financial aid offices who do help students, because there are plenty of them, and the people who work in the financial aid office are not the enemies. They're just doing their goddamn job. They probably have a child who they can't afford to send to school. So I'm not about to sit here and be like, oh my gosh, people in the financial aid offices are horrible and they don't work with students. There are plenty of people in the financial aid office who will literally lose sleep trying to help kids get into college, trying to help kids get housing. So I want to give a shout out to those people who work in those offices who try their damnedest to help students. It is a systematic issue. It is a systematic issue that we only allow rich people to. College is for rich people. College is for rich people. And that's the saddest part, because rich people are already given the world. Odds are, in the next 20 years, the people who are going to be millionaires, the people who are going to be in the top 10% of America, their parents are already in the top 10% of America now. So the people of my generation who are going to be millionaires when they're 40, their parents are already millionaires. So rich people are already at an advantage. They already are given inheritance. They're already given businesses. They're already given contacts. They're already networking with people who can help them to get into the places that they need already, you guys. So they're already playing with house money. Why do we in America, why is the system in America so built on poor people suffering? Like, that's what bothers me. You allow a kid to work their ass off work their ass off. Get a biology degree, get a chemistry degree, get a physics degree. And they now got accepted into Harvard Medical School. Does Harvard have a medical school? Probably. They get into Harvard Medical and Stanford Medical, who knows? They get into a great medical school and they get an email from Harvard telling them, hey, congratulations, sis, bro, on getting into medical school, but you're going to have to run us $1,000 if you actually want to go. We're going to need some more money from you. Keep in mind, when you apply, people don't tell you this. When you apply to medical school, law school, nursing school, no one wants to talk about how hefty those application fees are. You guys, this is just some law school tea. There is a thing called CAS. It is abbreviation. The abbreviation is CAS. I don't even know what it stands for at this point. You know that shit costs $195. This is not the application fee. This is not the seat deposit. This is not an LSAT fee. This is just to have your transcript and your LSAT authenticated. My transcript that already came from my university has to be authenticated? You think I got my university to send you a fake what? Like, when you look into what you, So in order, see, they don't tell you this. So this is what you have to do if you're going to law school. You pay your application fee, right? You pay however much the application fee is. You're already out 60, 50 bucks. Then you complete your application. But before you complete, mind you, you already paid probably $600 to take the LSAT. Not to mention if you have to go travel to take the LSAT. So no one talks about how you got to pay gas fare, how sometimes you got to get a hotel if it's in another. No one talks about all the things you have to do to even be in the position to put in an application. No one talks about that you already spent damn near $1,000 to even get in the driver's seat of putting in an application. So anyways, so you complete all your application, cute, fun. Then these suckers want $195 from your ass. For nothing. They literally want $195 from you for nothing. Like, it feels like the biggest scam in the world. You're like, wait, huh? $195. They want $195 for allowing you, I'm assuming, to send in an application. Like, it bothers me, you guys. It bothers me. Thank all of God, I did not run into any hiccups doing this. Like I said, my family is in a position to where they can invest in my education, but I am not someone who sits on a high horse of privilege and who's just like, yeah, my family has money, so it's fuck everyone else. I got my spot. I'm paying my seating deposit tomorrow, so I don't give a damn about none of the rest of y'all, whatever the rest of y'all got. I'm not that girl. You're gonna have to find a new puppet for freaking, what's the word? Capitalism. You're gonna have to find a new puppet for capitalism, because I'm not that girl, because it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous for you to sit here and assume, what? And the reason why I'm making this video is because, number one, I was upset when they tried to swindle $500 out of me. And number two, I want people who feel like they were slighted in life, like just because their parents didn't come from money. One second. I'm making this video for the people who feel like you've been slighted by life. You have been. You really have been. And it's one thing if you were being scammed and you were aware you were being scammed. So that phone call I was talking about earlier that I need to get to see if I need to go someplace came, and I do need to go someplace, but I'm still gonna finish this video even though I already been on too long. So anyways, so yeah, if you feel like life has slighted you, it has. And I would be irresponsible with my channel if I didn't bring the injustice of education to the forefront, because my biggest pet peeve is people who get to good places, doctors, lawyers, whatever, celebrities, anywhere, and they don't acknowledge the fact that luck, privilege, and access is the reason why they got to a lot of the places they got to and other people don't. Because acknowledging where you are privileged is the first step. Because once again, like I said in all of my videos, acknowledging the fact that you are privileged doesn't take away the fact that you worked hard. My family having spare change doesn't take away from the fact that I work hard to get into law school. So what do I lose by acknowledging the fact that I feel for the people who work 10 times harder than me, who got the same acceptance letter that I got, but who can't come up with $500 right now? I feel for those people, and I'm not here to say I am better than you or I'm more deserving of you. Money doesn't make you any more deserving of anything over anyone else. And there are people with way more money than my family, and you're no deserving to go to any law school than I am. If we have the same grades, if we have the same everything, we got the same LSATs, you're no more deserving than me, but your family probably can afford to get you into places my family can't. So it's irresponsible when you don't point out privilege. It's irresponsible when you are in a privileged place, that's the word, and you don't point out where you're privileged. Like, never will you hear me get on my channel when I'm in law school and act like I'm better than, how does being privileged make you better than someone? It is privilege. What makes privilege is that it's something not worked for. It is something that you did not work for. It is an advantage in life that you got by just the system being a certain way. If tomorrow the system reworked itself and poor people were privileged, then you would no longer have your privilege because it's something This is the NYX Butter Gloss, by the way. My mommy bought it for me. Anyway, you didn't work for the privilege. So if your privilege gets snatched away tomorrow, I better not hear no tears because you didn't do anything for it. I hate when people act like they did something for the privilege they have. Like you didn't do anything for. So why are you upset when other people get an ounce of privilege? You didn't do nothing for yours. So let other people get some. So yeah, tell me your thoughts. I would be interested to see the thoughts of someone who disagrees with me, because I want to know, how do you get so privileged to where you don't realize that poor people don't have the same chances in life that the rest of us have? Where do you get so high on your freaking horse that you don't realize that maybe, just maybe, the reason why you are successful is because your mama had a bunch of coins? And the thing is, no one likes to think that they are too privileged, you know? Like, my family isn't rich. We have a nice house. Y'all saw my Get Unready With Me video. We live in a nice house. We live in a nice community. And I went to, that's another thing. I didn't even talk. I hope you guys don't hate me with this video as long as it is. No one likes to talk about the fact that this level of privilege starts the minute you turn 5 years old and you start going to school. Now, I went to public school, I think, all my life. I believe in my early years, I went to private school for a short stint. Or was that my siblings? Whatever. I know, but that's irrelevant. But we lived in such a good community, and all my middle class folks out there, upper middle class folks can attest to this. There's bad public school, there's terrible public school, there's bad public school, there's good public school, there's great public school, and then there's this tier where it's public school that might as well be private school because the way the sections are zoned, only rich people can go to those schools. That is the type of schools I went to. I went to the public schools that were zoned in areas to where the school got so much money put into it, because there's another thing. Let's talk about how the amount of funding that goes to each school goes by the property tax of everyone who lives in that community. This is not for every state, but in most states, it goes by the property tax of the people who live around that school. So if you live in a good area, there's more money being sent into those schools because the property tax is so high. So I lived in a good area. And that's the thing. My family was the not as rich family in the amazing neighborhood. Does that make sense? Like, people in the civilization that I lived in, we lived next door to people who had access to millions of dollars. My friends had beach houses. My friends had boats. My friends had cabins. My friends had things my family could not afford. Mostly because I have hella fucking siblings. But so we were not even the most privileged of my family. Like, we lived in an amazing area, and I had two hardworking parents, and we lived in good areas. We went to good schools, but there were people who were best friends of mine, still best friends of mine, whose families, I would go over their house and it was just like a whole nother world, a whole other world. A whole other world. Like, I would get lost in their houses. Their houses were so big. They would invite me to go spend spring break with them, and their family has a beach house on Hilton Head. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. And guess what? All these people go to good schools. They're going to even better graduate schools, even better law schools, even better medical schools, crazy stuff. And it's not by chance. I don't think my group of friends or me were any capable of being smarter than any of the people who were in lower income places. I just know we had access. We had access to things. We had access to things. We had connections to things. Colleges came to visit. There's a reason why the military in lower income areas, the military goes to visit lower income area high schools. But in higher income areas, actual colleges, prestigious colleges, Duke, I'm from North Carolina, so Duke, Chapel Hill, NC State, Wake Forest, these big time colleges, these top 10, 20 universities would come to my school to vet kids in. The military didn't fucking come. The military probably came like for a day and no one paid any attention to it, because we knew our next step wasn't going, unless you were going to the military because you actually wanted to be in the military, you weren't going to the military. People who want to go to the military because they actually want to go to the military already know they're going to the freaking military. But the reason why the military goes to lower income schools is because these kids have no other options but to go to the military. And that's why the military goes to their school. So yes, there's no shade to anybody in the military, but there's a sector of people who want to be in the military and who go to the military to serve this country. And there are people who go to the military because it's a free check. And what else are they gonna do? Those are the people the military go to high school to get. The people who are like, well, you're not smart enough to go to college. Your parents don't have enough money to send you to college. So how about you go to the military? Those are the people the military goes to high school to fish out. They're not fishing out the people who are actually passionate about being in the armed forces. You get what I'm saying? Yes. Anyways. So, I don't know where this video went all over the place. As usual. I always feel like a dweeb when I put my mole on my face. But like, I feel weird when I don't. Like the other day when I did my makeup, I didn't put my mole on. And like, you can see the mole through my makeup. So it's like weird. Like, I feel like people think like I didn't put my makeup on right. They're like, why is her foundation not covering that black spot on her face? But it's a mole. So like, I draw in my mole. But then when I draw in my mole, I'm just like, people are probably like, why does this bitch have a drawn on mole? Because you can't win, okay? When you're ugly, you can't win. Anyways, you guys, so shout out to all my people who aren't in school. If you're not in school or you don't plan on going to school, tell me in the comments what you want to do. Or if you have a YouTube channel, link it. Come on. We have to start making higher education not so much of a necessity. Allow people, if you're going to be classist about it, let's have other options. Let's play them, you know? I don't know what I'm saying. But yes, I love you guys so much. I will see you in my next one. Bye-bye.